Hey everyone, so now let's set to work on adding that spike asset that I have added here. And let's set to go look at the way we work on this. So we know we will need to go to the preload method, and we can try to go reference the name of the asset that we have. And we'll also do that here because this is going to be our spike 1.png, and we can have a function. And we know that if we try to go up here first, let's try to set up that collision. Let's try to first setting up. Let's go back on top. And we know that this is a platform that will be, let's say I'm going to call this spike. And then this that physics that add that static group. And we want to go and test a similar with how we set this up. We would want to have the player that to create this. Let's have this spike that create. Let's have a 400 by 600. Let's reference the spike that set scale 0.7 that refresh body method. And we also want to set up at the bottom, we have this overlap that we can try to reference, and we can call this physics that add that overlap. We want to have the player, the spike, and then the hit spike null this. And then we want to have a method, this hit spike. Let's have to go put that function. Let's call this the identifier that we used, and we'll pass into parameters player and the spike. And let's have this dot physics dot pause. I was exploring on how to pause the, I want to further explore this physics dot pause method that we're accessing in the framework. Let's try to set the tint, give it 0xFF0000. Let's have a player that animes that play, which is going to reference the, we know that this turn is referencing this animes played turn, right? And then let's have a game over signed through window dot location dot reload. And this is something that I was trying to figure out for quite some time, trying to figure out how to reference what will happen if we get to have the player hit a spike. So if we try to play this, so we do see that there's that image. If we hit it, we're able to refresh, but the image is not rendering. I'm not sure why that's happening. So let's try to go back to here, but we do have that option there. I might have missed something here. We want to have that image spike 1. That should be spike 1 because that's a spike 1. And this is spike 1, right? If we try to go back here, refresh, we do see that image getting rendered there. I think this is happening because I did some testing earlier. And you would see I opened up my, because I think it's a cache on the browser, and I opened up a private browser, and now I can see the 3 spikes there. And if I try to collect, we have the score collection working, and we do have those spike. If I drop on them, I get to refresh the game here, and we now have a way to kill our player by hitting some of those spikes, right? And I think that's it for this session video, and I hope you got some ideas here on how to implement some traps into your game. So at least we now have a way to collect scores. We learned how to set up those Google font, and perhaps we can try to reassign some more spikes here, and you can even play around with having some sort of a boundary here. And that's what I've been trying to figure out for quite some time, that I wanted to test things out. And if we wanted to showcase, or let's just try to move that spike a little bit upward. I think that will require us to have a 400. Let's see what that will be, because that's, you will see there's that spike. And this is happening because I've been doing some testing on this browser. And if I go back to my private browser, you'll see that it's now on top. And we now have those spike there, right? And we can refresh the browser every time that we hit those spikes. Okay. So I think that's it for this video for the meantime. Thank you, and see you on the next video.